Hey everyone, welcome back to
5 Minute Eats, and we are on the last and final day of Meatloaf Week here on 5 Minute Eats. And today, at the end of the episode, we are going to tell you which was our favorite and least favorite of the week. But before we do that, we've got to review the final one, which is the Hungry Man Homestyle Meatloaf. Meatloaf patties with mashed potatoes, gravy, mixed vegetables, and a brownie. This is a 16-ounce, 1-pound tray for the most expensive price of the week of $3.74.
So that's still not a bad price. And look at this thing. There's a lot of food here.
There's a lot.
Definitely for a hungry guy, this is gonna do it. Hopefully.
Now, I would like to note that the brownie that's in here, literally doused and covered in gravy. So I am really not excited about having to eat that.
Yeah.
Because that to me is like a fear factor kind of meal. Like, I don't love the idea that it's doused in gravy.
Well, the meatloaf looks not bad. It looks, not as brown as the one in the picture, but
yes.
I feel like it comes pretty close. There's plenty of gravy. The mashed potatoes, there's a good amount. The vegetables look okay. And I like that it's not just corn. There's carrots and peas or green beans.
Yep.
Yeah, so not bad.
Not
and
bad.
you get a brownie with gravy on it. So that's going to be interesting. And guys, if you're new to our channel, basically we review our ridiculous items. So before you spend your hard-earned money, let us tell you if it's worth it.
Let's try this out.
If you'd like to support this channel, the easiest way to do that is using our Amazon links the next time you shop there.
All right, guys, welcome back. Our rating system. Thumbs up, bite again. Thumbs down, we would not. So for me, this is a thumbs down. This thing is not bad in some ways. In other ways, it's just not good. The best part, I feel, was the vegetables. I didn't actually have high hopes for it, but the vegetables were pretty good. I'm so glad they put the green beans in because I love green beans. For what it is, I think it was seasoned pretty good. There was a lot of moisture to it because some of the corn has been dry. The mashed potatoes, garbage. It tastes like instant mashed potatoes, just garbage. Because it's like instant mashed potatoes is like, tastes like chemicals, like the chemicals they put in to preserve or something like that. Just doesn't taste natural. The brownie was not bad, but I thought it was dry.
Aside from the gravy?
Aside from the gravy didn't really bother me because there wasn't a lot of it on there. I felt like the meatloaf, I'd give them a lot of credit because it was better than some of them from this week because they seasoned it well. You could taste like the bell peppers and all the other ingredients they put in it. Just felt like it wasn't really a meatloaf though. I think it was just like a meat patty that was seasoned really well. I also don't think the quality was there of the meat. Overall, man, this was definitely not something that I would buy. It needs tweaking. Thumbs down.
If you like what we're doing here, please consider sending us super thanks. It helps us continue to provide more amazing content.
All right, for me, to end out the week, this one is going to be a thumbs down. What on earth does it say about your meatloaf dinner if the vegetables are the highlight of the meal? That is pretty f***ing sad. The vegetables were by far the best part about this whole meal, and I feel like it just went downhill from there. The mashed potatoes, God, those taste probably the worst of all of the mashed potatoes this week. They were really chemically tasting, but also dusty tasting. Like they tasted like an attic that's been like shut up for like 80 years. Just really bad. The gravy was pretty bland. The brownie, what would you like to say?
I think the gravy was okay. It was not bad.
I felt like it was bland. It wasn't nearly as good as some of the others this week. The brownie was pretty freaking dry, and I would say it's more like a chocolate cake instead of a brownie. Like it didn't really have the texture of a brownie. Did not love that they were so sloppy in their preparation of this that they put gravy all over it. Did not like that part at all. But thankfully the gravy was bland enough that you really didn't notice it that much. The meatloaf did taste like a not terrible meatloaf, but it didn't have the texture of meatloaf at all. It really did have like kind of a chew to it, but also my biggest freaking issue with this, and I would just like to say that Conagra does it yet again, because this is a Conagra product. The piece of meatloaf that I had was connected, because I had cut it in half to like get an interior shot. It was connected, the two halves, with like a sinewy piece of some sort of animal product, to the point that I was holding up one of the pieces and it was dangling from the stringy thing, and I was able to swing it around for a little bit.
Like a nunchuck.
And like a nunchuck, before it finally snapped. And at that point I decided I was no longer going to eat any more of it. But I don't like to see things like that. I just don't want to know how terrible the quality of meat that I'm ingesting is.
All right, guys, so the week is up. We got to decide which one was our least favorite and which one was our favorite. So I'm going to start. So my least favorite, I think it's easy to freaking say, was the Marie calendars. That was absolute garbage from Conagra. This is a company that needs to be raided by the FBI. They got to investigate what's going on with this company, because I don't think they have good intentions. This is a company that's out for pure profit. They're poisoning Americans. Just, just my opinion, Like, do I know that for a fact? No, I don't. I'm just saying, just my opinion. I'm making a joke. I'm making a joke, okay? But I just think the Marie calendars all around, everything about it was just nasty, as if they didn't put any effort into it. Huge disappointment with that, because when you look up the history of Marie calendars, the lady and her son, what they were able to build, it's really a shame that this company has gone into the hands of an evil corporation called Conagra. So that's my least favorite of the week.
Wow. Okay, for me, my least favorite of the week is going to be the Marie calendars. That was, to quote Samuel L. Jackson, some up repugnant. That was pretty bad. You said it all, and I would just like to say that I think that there's a reason why Conagra has con in the name.
Exactly. Now, our favorite of the week, I think this is going to be something that we're going to agree on, because, man, this one really blew us out of the water, right?
Okay.
Does that make sense right
Yeah.
there, what I just said? Yeah, because, wow, I was blown away, man. And that was the Stouffer's Classic Meatloaf. That tasted like something that you made at home. That was the most authentic, because I felt like every other meatloaf we tried was basically like a meat patty.
Yes.
And not really a meatloaf.
And isn't Stouffer's tagline, nothing comes closer to home?
I have no idea.
I think it is, like from the 90s. I think that was in their commercials.
And I think the only thing they really could do better was give you more gravy.
Yeah, and season the potatoes like slightly more.
Yeah.
A little salt and pepper.
Which you can add yourself. Now, do you agree this was the best?
Yes, I
just
100%,
wanted to confirm.
Yes, 100% I agree this was the best. They absolutely nailed the meatloaf texture, the meatloaf flavor, even kind of the look. Like, it looked more like a homemade meatloaf. It had a thickness like that. Like, it did not look like a meat patty. Everything about this was good, aside from just a little bit of seasoning on the potatoes. But the actual meatloaf was what we were mainly looking for this week, and none of the others came close to it. Like, this so far is the best frozen meatloaf that we have had.
All right, guys, so that concludes this week's Theme Week. If you love what we're doing here, there's 2 ways you can help us. Number 1, use our Amazon links. All you got to do is click in our description, our Amazon link, and if you buy something within 24 hours, we get a small commission. Like we always say, 10 cents, 50 cents, possibly even $1. Another way you can help us is super thanks. If you want to send us directly $10, $50, $50,000, you can do that. It helps whatever way you do it. It goes a long way to help us continue to do what we do. And so stay tuned next week for a new theme. Bye.
All right, guys, that's the video. If you like what we're doing here, definitely check out our other channel, Food Prep Inc. And don't forget to give us a like and subscribe.